Oh, what's up, guys? Cody here today with Banner Saga. So just Banner Saga is a game that's I can compare it. The only game I can compare it to is or the Oregon Trail and Fire Emblem. That's really the only two games I compare it to. It's got the survivability of Oregon Trail, where you have to make sure you keep track of your resources well, and there's going to be events that happen that you have to react to, and reacting to them in a bad way will lose yourself people. And Fire Emblem, I just chose that just because the combat is similar to that. So yeah, let's get on into it. If there we go. So I'm gonna a new game. Story in the Banner Saga changes based on the choices you make. You will occasionally switch between lead characters, witnessing the story unfolds from different perspectives. Just so you know, I have played some of this already. I've played up to all the way through chapter 3. And I was doing pretty bad. I had already lost 2 people, so I'm gonna try to not lose those people this time. We'll see. The gods are dead. In their wake, man and giant survive through a tenuous alliance, driving black destroyers called Dredge deep into the northern waste. Now, I didn't get to... Dredge are the enemies. Ugh. And the Dredge are these big black creatures.
Að sjá dreggjan á ferlinu vor. It has been several long months on the road. The first signs of snowfall accost us on our approach to Strand, largest of the trade cities of all human borders, and our last collection before returning to the capital. Several days ago, the sun simply came to a stop in the sky. Though during these long winter days, none of us can be certain how long it has been this way. Some of the men in the caravan have taken it as a dire omen. I am not quick to superstition, but I myself will be glad to be done with this year's rounds. We have been warned by stranded travelers about brigands on the path through Ridgehorn, our road home. Our captain seems unconcerned. Perhaps he is as eager as I to be done here. We will rest here this day and inquire further when we speak to the governor.
So how they're all lined up like right now on that path thing, that's pretty much how it's going to look like all games that I'm going to have more people. It'll be just random people. Now we get to fight. So the fighting system in this game is really interesting. I say it's similar to Fire Emblem just because you take turns moving and whatnot, but we'll see. You've arrived just in time. The chieftain in red and his men are now looking at the tougher fight than they bargained for. I'm playing with a PS3 controller, but it thinks I'm using an Xbox controller, so I have to make sure I don't press the wrong buttons. So. I'm sorry. So, Yeah, so the guys I'm using are Vol. I think that's how it's pronounced. They're like big giant Viking guys. And they take up more space than humans do. But they're normally stronger than humans as well. So yeah. So in this game, you have two stats for your combat. You have your armor and your strength. Your strength counts as both health and attack power. So you want to always, so if you have 5 health, you also have 5 strength, and you know if you get attacked, you become weaker, which is a really nice aspect because that's kind of how it should be combat-wise. You know, as you get hit more and more, realistically you feel weaker and weaker because of those wounds. And then also we have armor in this game, which is going to be armor. You know, it's going to be strength minus armor is damage dealt. So a lot of times in this fight, not so much. But a lot of times what's going to happen is I'm going to have to break down the armor before I'm able to actually start attacking their health. So, when I kill people, I get renown. Renown is used to buy me, to promote my people, to buy me more supplies, and to buy me items. Really thirsty this morning. So, it goes how the turn system works is people will take one turn. The enemy will take one turn, then you'll take one turn. So regardless of the fact that I have 2 people, I'm still going to be able to keep. I'm still going to be able to continue to go after they go. So I get to attack just as much as them, but I have less people, so. Yeah, what they just were explaining there that I'm talking over is willpower. Willpower allows you to use more of on the left side, you're gonna notice that there's a little like star thing that's yellow. That's my willpower, and I can use that to do more damage, break more armor, or move farther. I also need willpower to be able to use my abilities. And this guy's my Gnolf's ability is Tempest, which it just swings it in front of him. So Tempest, run through 2 spaces to run through 2 space. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at this guy's. But Tempest swings in front of him. That's pretty much what it does. So when there's only one guy left for somebody, then the other side gets to just attack with all their people, and the other guy, every unit gets 1 turn apiece. Yeah. Which helps. Because a lot of times that means I have to rush taking out people to rush taking out, like if there's 2 guys I have to rush taking them out.
How did it come to this? We fool ourselves believing that peace will last. Grandfather built all this from a poor fishing village, you know. He watched the gods die, watched the chaos that followed. Watched man and bar slaughter each other, even before the threats arose. All we've done is traded one struggle for another. Now that there are no more threats to war against, we war against ourselves. This chieftain meant to kill me, and he's not the first. 12 families in the city would gladly take my chair. This one had men waylaying merchants, both north and south of the city, strangling trade quite well, I would add, though he denied it to his last. This sort of wolf doesn't stop biting because the head is cut off. It just grows a new head. I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe. Take any men you need. They're loyal, I promise you that. They will meet you down in the proving grounds.
I've got no idea what I... Oh, yeah, I remember now. So, after this, we have to go to, like... We have to go to, like, a certain part of the town and, like, kill everybody else. But it's, like, weird. Because it's, like, they're in the town still, and it's... I don't get it. You're approached by a familiar man who walks in step with you as you're leaving the Great Hall. He cuts to the chase. This is Eric? Yeah. Eric, Steward of Strand. I manage the governor's business. Ubin, isn't it? Yeah, so this big guy, this big old guy is Ubin. It is. The governor tells me you'll be getting us a hand. What do you have in mind, Eric? Scalfings that you didn't hack up in the Great Hall scattered after you took out the chieftain. The governor just wants to make sure they stay down. Was hoping you'd join me at the marketplace by the docks. If there's anyone left to worry about, I know who can tell us. So we're gonna go to a little friend of Eric's here. This is kinda how, whenever we stop to go to a town, there's gonna be several different options I can have, most of which are gonna be the same as my camp, but, you'll see. So, to the market. Eric wants to handle this. You meander through rows of open-faced houses, in eroded stalls. Colored canvases flap on the briny current. One man in particular blanches as you approach. I'm not on the moon today. For what? Talking to an idiot. The Scalfing chieftain bled out about an hour ago, So tell me what rat anus the rest of them crawled back into. Nobody's gonna try and kill you this time. They don't talk to me. I don't have patience for this. Hat sweats visibly, fumbling with some dirty trinkets on his table. Wait, just buy one of these. If everyone thinks I'm getting worked over every week, how am I supposed to know much? Just a little food money, yeah? I paid him on my first run, so... You toss a sliver of silver on the table. Both men look at you with surprise. Had gestures meekly to a variety of junk from his stall. Take whatever you like. Only thing I'd like is the name of the place. Noblemen up by East Wall. But that was months ago, last I know. Had skulks away with a wave of Eric's hand, gathering things from his hovel, disappearing for a while until this blows over, you figure. Your bodyguard steps forward. Are we done here? Gnolf, were you wearing green back at the Great Hall? No, I just bought them while you were walking around. Why? Honestly, I don't think it matters how we answer these, but I'm just gonna say no reason. Gnolf goes off to look at more stalls. Eric, that man of yours seems unreliable at best. Yes, he is unreliable, Ubin. Good job. Good. A blind dog wouldn't trust Had, but he used this to be a Scalfing. They're licking their wounds. They've probably gone to old haunts, not new ones. Nobleman is a meat hall? Best I can tell. The name's ironic. Listen, I know a guy who would love to put a few of these skulls in the ground. I'm gonna find him. I'll meet you there. Shouldn't we have an approach of some sort? What a luxury. Come on. You've already mopped up worse today. Let's make sure the governor remembers his promise. Double the usual tithe. Yeah, that's what you've been telling him. I should probably try to get a Viking accent going for the ball, but I'm afraid I'm like really gonna screw it up. So, to the meat house. You arrive in front of what must be noblemen. A few minutes later, Eric appears with a weather-beaten man introduced as Valgard. I'll point them out, Eric says over his shoulder. Ready? Sure, let's get it over with. That's the spirit, says Valgard. Okay, here we go. Saga boots the front door open so hard it won't close again without repair. As you enter the hall, Eric is already at the head of a table, his axe drawn, wide-eyed. Drunken Scalfics scramble to find their own weapons, turning tables and meat stains in the process. Stains. Okay, now I get to set up my guys. So I can change what my guys are, and so as you can see, the Varl, the big guys, typically have more health and attack power than than my other guys, typically. Who's this guy? Whatever. So it doesn't matter if I lose somebody, if somebody like dies, which is fortunate. I'm gonna move some people around because in the bottom left corner, if you hadn't seen before, that's a turn order. So we're not gonna actually move him yet. See, we really don't want to be getting ourselves into a bad situation. We want to try to keep ourselves as close-knit as possible. Since none of these guys are range, it's less I have to worry about. So you'll notice Gnolf doesn't have any yellow tiles because his exertion stat is 0. The exertion stat is a little chain stat on the left side. That tells me how many spaces I'm allowed to move with. So I'm gonna that tells how much willpower I'm allowed to use in one turn for certain things. Move him here. I'm actually going to rally him. My Eric's ability is rally, which gives willpower to my men. So, his exertion is 1. Okay. Can't really do much damage there. So yeah, those are shield bangers, I think. Shield wall adds 1 armor. Okay, so all the guys with shield, do they all have the same thing? Okay, yeah, all the enemy has a shield wall, which is an ability that is if they're adjacent to somebody, then they get extra armor. Yeah. So then let's try and figure out. Oh yeah, I remember what I was about to say. So one of my issues with this game is there's no undo button for movement. Once you moved, you're done. Okay, I don't know what that move just was. What that move just was that he used. Run through 2 spaces to break to each enemy unit. Normal strength damage to target. Okay, let's get some damage in on him. As you see, they are giving Gnolf a beating, which I don't like, but whatever. Gnolf has a lot of health, so it's not the worst thing. We're actually going to use his Tempest ability. So that's going to hit both of these guys. Which, as you can see, it's doing like no damage now because Gnolf is super weak. And he now has 0 armor, which is a big issue. Like, that's a really big issue, actually. If someone has 0 armor, they just completely get their ass whooped. Oh yeah, Eric's other ability that's not his, I'm gonna call it their passive, is he can move through units. He can move through friendly units, which is nice. But yeah, Gnolf is gone. which is fine. He's just in this. It doesn't really make a difference. Am I attacking the right guy? This is the guy I want to attack. What's my exertion stat? Nothing. I'm just gonna armor break him then. I can never tell who the hell I'm attacking. Oh, I could have killed him. Ah, whatever. I couldn't tell who I was attacking because I had the, I can toggle the stat. I can toggle whether or not stats are shown. Should have toggled them off. Damn. Oh, beating up on Eric, I see. Eric comes in really handy, actually. You'd be surprised, the human characters in this game are actually easier to get kills with. So I need to get, yeah, they're gonna beat up on me. They've got that, those guys have an ability that, pretty much is like, yeah, I'm gonna just beat the shit out of you. Fortunately, the last guy is really weak. But I'm really weak too, and as you'll see, my attack is less than his armor. So there's only a % chance of me actually being able to damage him. So instead, I'm just gonna break his armor. Armor breaking is not influenced by how much health you have. It's always gonna be a certain amount based upon the unit. Okay, I got 10 renown from that. Gunolf getting dying in there doesn't really mean anything because no, if someone dies in battle, they don't really die. They're considered injured, and normally what happens is it takes them a few days to recover. But since that was like the intro fight, then I kind of skipped the first bit of dialogue. Okay, well we'll start with this. Ubin, one. I can't really do a Viking accent. I'm gonna try. I don't even know. Whatever. One banner I know well, Wagner. Next for the Varl kingship last we spoke. The other flag looks important. Okay, so Wagner is here, and then we got somebody else. Ah, things make a little more sense. You hoped I have a stake in saying everything's fine here when the royal guests arrive. Not me, the governor. Now I have to make sure there are no rotting bodies or pools of entrails still in the Great Hall before they come by. Can I ask one more favor? Sure, Eric. If you happen to stall or a guest down on the docks, I wouldn't object. Maybe I will. Eric and Valgard hustle from the meat house. To his credit, Eric tosses the barkeep a spar of silver for the mess. You give an apologetic shrug and go to greet the new arrivals down at the docks. So let's go to the docks. Wagner. Familiar Val steps onto the docks. In your mind, you recall a much younger version tramping the halls of Grolfheim, abundant in purpose. God, Zubin, you look ancient. Comes of being old, and if there is Wagner, there must be Haken. Must there? Still bleeding tributes from the poor and stupid old Jocks. At what age do you lose a sense of shame? Durando demands it. I'll take that over lingering to death and Grofim. Speaking of, I had no sense that you were so far from home. Just returned from Arbingrad, whatever, that place, in fact. I'm glad of it. Haken motions to the other ships in the bay, sails still fluttering. Gold wolf head emblazoned on red. The king of men, or someone on his behalf. The king's whelp. The king's son, Luden. Don't you know, Scrivener? We visit his capital, he visits ours. It's how you make alliances these days. It's a miserable waste of time. Yes, Haken has it. I'd almost forgotten. It's a good thing you're around, Haken. Then you're going to Grofheim? I have the distinct feeling I've finished my business in Strand and was heading there myself. We should caravan. We should give it a day in better circumstances. I'd drink a week away, but let's just be done. Find me tomorrow at the gates. Sure thing, Wagner. What he's trying to say is the princess is a delight to behold. Being sarcastic there. Where's Morga? Haken, have him find a place to put up the warriors. I'm heading up to meet the governor. A host of giants depart in his wake. You recognize a few, others are strangers to you. Guess I'm off to find Morga. See you in the morning, Scrivener. I'll be along. The young prince of men ambles from his ship. He brushes off his tunic, scanning the beach with low eyelids. Ludin looks for all the world the sort of a boy who grew up pulling the legs from spiders. The long road back to Grofim should be more interesting than most years, you think? So yeah, Ludin's an asshole, pretty much. But so is Haken. So is Haken. Haken's a bit of a nuisance too. They don't get along well. And we're gonna see that a lot. Weariness settles in, and you chuckle to yourself about what an odd day it has been. One of the governor's men at the Great Hall could find you a place to sleep. On the other hand, if you're going to join Wagner's caravan tomorrow, it might not hurt to share a drink with Haken, or introduce yourself to the prince they spoke so highly of. So yeah, we're gonna go, chill with Haken real fast. Just talk to him. It's mostly storyline dialogue. Scrivener! You find Haken in the meat house, surrounded by other Vol. Strand is no stranger to Vol, but rarely sees this many. Haken waves you over. Went straight for a flargen. Wagner is the one who agreed to pass up a drink. It wasn't invited to the governor's hall anyway. You already missed the massacre. Every year I make the rounds collecting taxes. Every year it's the human settlements that give me trouble. No surprise. What this time? When I got here, the Great Hall was already full of bodies. We added a few more. Ha! Humans. I guess if only I lived as long as a Yox fart, I might be desperate to make something of myself too. It's not too late to start trying, Haken. Haken let slip a low chuckle. Any of all could recount his deeds, known as he is for cutting a swath through Dredge at Wagner's side in the Second War, indirectly since. Down here, I'm a glorified bodyguard. You might have a point, just another reason to get back to Grofim. Soon enough, I imagine. You drink until the mead house becomes overbearing, then step back into the cool air outside. So now we're off to see Ludin, and he is not somebody we want to be talking to that much. Personal-wise. Is this the right place? You find the prince at an inn. Guards blanket the building, including a sharp-eyed Varl who must be working for Ludin. A woman in a red in red eventually waves you over and stands nearby, arms crossed. Greetings, Prince Ludin. Yes, you're with Wagner. I don't remember you. Not exactly. I've known Wagner a long time. I'll be joining you back to Grofheim with my guards. Ludin looks up for the first time. Woman doesn't react. Why? I work for the king, carrying tithes to the capital. We crossed by chance. Oh, a tax collector. Fine company. I think he's kind of being sarcastic. What do you want? Just to introduce myself. Collect taxes for the Vol territories. A true pleasure. Yes. An awkwardness hangs in the air like a thick fog. You take the opportunity to depart. Yeah, it doesn't really matter what you choose there. It's not really all that friendly. So, to the Great Hall. At dawn, you're awoken by delivery of goods. At least you think it's dawn. Damn hard to tell with a sun that never moves. The governor's crest adorns the supply leathers. All there, just as promised, to your mild surprise. You wonder if Eric had anything to do with it. So I get 20 renown. Your guards take the treasure wagon down to the gates. Wagner is already here. A while later, Ludin and his men appear, groggy and disheveled. Morger steps forward. Wagner's quarters master. If you recall correctly, in charge of his unwieldy entourage of warriors. You know him only in passing. He asks if you're ready to depart. I think we're ready to depart, I guess, since it's the only option I get. You follow Morger and join the others. Usually, the smaller doors set into the gates would be enough to enter or leave the city, but the town guards have been told to push them open entirely. They mutter things under their breath that are not best heard. Perhaps the governor expected to draw a crowd, but there's nothing of the sort. Just frustrated, tired people. To summarize, this strand was a whole youth. Now you can see in the bottom right, we're kind of leaving now. Although we have a much larger, so as you can see, we have 0 clansmen, 85 fighters, and 1,366 overall. We have, real fast, I'm going to, pause. Actually, I can't do that. Okay, we have 35 renown, 66 days of supply, and we have great morale. So that little face is gonna be how we judge morale in this. And like I said, our renown is used for upgrading our guys and whatnot. Caravan stops for the day. A gift, says Morgar, cracking open meat cast. From our gracious friends, the governor of Strand. Hours pass with voracious laughter as the mead is passed throughout camp. We're gonna drink a little. Oh, actually, no. We're gonna toast to Wagner. Because something's gonna happen to him. And I drank a little last time. Nothing happened drinking a little. So we're gonna toast to Wagner. You raised your drink, toasting the alliance between man and Vrall. The others join in, looting the Russians like a stonewall, but the others laugh at your exaggerations. Eventually, you sit down beside Wagner. Let's chat with him. Thanks for the speech, slurs Wagner. Thanks for the speech. But he's kind of drunk. Looks like he didn't have to miss out after all. Thanks to Morga. I thought the damned governor would never shut up. Did he give you the history of his entire family? He tried. Then he asked me to clean up his mess. For your benefit, turns out. I'd given up the job to you, to gods. There's no joy in politics. Speaking of, what happens after this business of Luden? Hopefully the boy goes back to Abelarag on his own and I can take out some frustration on Dredge or something. Starting to sound like Haken. You don't like the life of a diplomat? Ha! Don't you miss the fire tubing. You down your meat instead of refine. Wagner slouches and shakes his head. There's no great joy in killing Dredge, but this... Pretty sure this is some nonsense. Some scheme between the two kings to force some kind of lineage. Used to be. Warriors would follow you for what you've done. Isn't that why they follow you now? Is it? Or is it because I'm the next in line? These lines are getting muddy. Old Raw. They've always been muddy, Wagner. Wagner stares into the campfire, lost in thought. You leave him to it. Hopefully that helped morale, though. Oh, okay, yeah, we get to look at our camp now. Your eyes gargle. The campsite is a casualty of merriment. Logger is already licking warriors awake when you spot Luden stalking up your direction. He sights up sleeping bodies. Better wake up. You nudge Wagner. You're needed. Ah, it's Luden. Always a pleasure. Not really. You look well rested. Wagner releases a caged yawn. He receives a hard-eyed stare in return. How long to grow with him? Ha! We're only 2 days out of Strand, you know. Come, I'll show you on a map. So now we can look at the map. The map is pretty big, actually. I haven't quite looked at everything. So, we got the world map. I can zoom around or not. So, portrait icon shows where your caravan is in the world. You can use the, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So then. To get to Grofheim. Where is it? Okay, yeah, this is Grofheim. So this is where we're gonna be going. I wish I could figure out how to... Oh, there we go. Well, I kinda had it. There we go. Okay. So this is where we are now, down in the corner where the icon is, and pretty much we're gonna be making our way up to Grofheim by the Two Spears. That's the plan, anyway. We head north and east past the forts. Grofheim is far from Strand, going to be a long march. You should have drank last night, Luden. Why not take the ships to Sky Mercy? Sure, that's how you pronounce it. What's the point of marching? The Silverstone Bay is called for a reason. It stays covered in ice all year. It would tear up the longships. Too bad though. We could have shown you all the wonders of Sky Mystery. A half-sunken city, crawling with dredge, Prince. Dredge and glaciers. You like glaciers? Ludin exhales through his nose. Poor disguise for his contempt. He turns and bats aside the tent flaps as he goes, barking at his company in the distance. Don't poke the anthill, Wagner. He seems no happier to be here than you. Spend a few more days with the boy, old friend. You'll be looking for a tall cliff to hop off of, too. Ludin's got a shorter wick than Haken. Thanks, Wagner. Let's get moving. Another half day to Vedr, if we're lucky. Whatever, I'm not going to try to pronounce these names. So, here's my camp. Pretty much it's like you manage the caravan in here, and I can upgrade stuff. The rest tent allows me to improve morale. Higher morale reduces casualties in war and affects your willpower in combat. However, resting also takes up a day's worth of supply. You don't want to rest all that much, although I try to keep my morale at a good pace. Training allows me to test out characters, and leave is leave. The hero's tent is the most important. So one of your units is injured. Yeah, like I said, injured units can still fight, but have a penalty to the max strength equal to the number of days wounded. They heal as time passes, which we don't want to be using wounded characters if we can avoid them. So I can actually upgrade a guy. They've got different abilities. So Ganal's ability, hitting a large target like a Vol or Dredge. So takes hitting. If I hit somebody, I deal damage to other people around him. This is not why I'm in here though. Can I upgrade? Oh, I actually can't promote anybody. So you see down on the bottom, there's a death cap. There's a death count of how many times I've killed somebody. That's useful for promoting my guys. So, morale's good and everything. So we're gonna be going, but I'm actually just gonna end this here. Okay. So thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like and subscribe if you did, and see you in the next one. Thanks.